The only one that hears it is you. It's the early hours of the morning. I'm awake. Those sometimes blissful moments when you wake up before the alarm and get a bask in the comfort of sleep for 15 more minutes. I flip my pillow to the cold side without thought. It is a reflex, especially in the heat of the summer that has finally arrived. The chill is good against my hot face. It's one of those special pillows. Not feather, but not exactly memory foam either. Can't remember what Allison called them when she explained how we needed to spend $300 on a new pillow set. But now I'm glad that I caved in. It absorbed some of the beads of sweat that had accumulated in the heat of the night. Part of me already knows that the night is over. It is morning, but still far too early to be awake. The air smells good. I noticed that somewhere in my barely conscious state. It isn't a pillowcase though. Allison's hair, especially the smell of that new shampoo that smelled just like the cereal Fruity Pebbles for some reason, is right in my face. But in a good way. Her head is close enough for the smell to be potent, but not too potent. And also far enough away that I'm not inhaling strands of hair as I breathe. I want to pull her close, spend these 15 minutes with some good old-fashioned skin-to-skin spooning. But I'm too tired to go through the trouble, still too mostly asleep to bother. Resigned to just reach out with my leg. Her legs are smooth and warm. It's nice. Good enough. The blanket is heavy. The world outside our house is silent, still asleep. Of course I hear it right away, just like every morning. But just like most mornings, I don't even realize that I hear it at first. It is there, though. Of course, as it has been so many mornings already. It was weird. The first 11 times I heard it, I don't think I ever noticed it. The noise. Or if I did, it was so easily rationalized that I just brushed it off. It was rationalized and put away before it was even an acknowledged thought. Just the fridge, humming, buzzing, just the AC going, just a car outside, down the road. There's a trillion things that make those kinds of noises, even in the suburbs. A dull, ringing, buzzing sound is nothing special. But eventually, it gets annoying. Is annoying even the right word for it? At a certain point, when you hear it every fucking morning, without fail, you take notice. You start to look around your house for what is making the sound. It's just a process of elimination, you know? That sound has to be coming from something, so you just need to figure out what the hell it is, and fix it, or throw it away, or smash it with a fucking hammer until it stops making that sound. That humming sound. So that's exactly what I did the first couple of mornings that I heard the sound. I mean, after I realized that I was actually hearing some sort of sound. It would have started a few months ago by now. A few days go by where I hear it in the morning. It isn't anything all that bad. Which is insane to think about now as I lay in bed and begin to realize that I've been hearing it the entire time I've been awake. This morning, it devours my entire attention, and more so, the more that I pay attention to it. But when it started, it was easily ignored. I could even fall back asleep. You hear so many sounds, you'd have to think that something like 99% of them don't even register to your attention. They're just white noise. And white noise is even comforting. at least to us modern people. For many, I'd say myself included, the lack of at least a decent amount of white noise is actually unsettling. We need it. It's comforting. My baby girl, Sarah, she's finally sleeping in the crib in her own room down the hall, thank God. But when she was born, we would always play some white noise to help her get to sleep. Some rain sounds or some ocean waves, even just static. Anything would work, but if we did nothing, the silence drove her more crazy. The same thing happens with people who have ADHD. Now, I don't know how much of this is pseudoscience or just placebo, but I've heard many times that using some white noise can help with focus a great deal. I don't personally have ADHD, but as a computer programmer, I've used the aid of various forms of white noise to help when it was crunch time on a project. And placebo or not, it was most certainly helpful to me. But this sound? It's not white noise. It's not something that fades away into the background. It isn't something that can be ignored. It comes to the front and center of your attention until it's the only thing that you hear. And it's doing it to me now, slowly building in its intensity. But it isn't really. It's always the same tone, at the same level, at the same pitch. It never changes. Maybe pulses a little, but it doesn't get louder. No. What happens is that you just pay attention to it. You realize that you're hearing it, and basically, once you notice it, you're done. That's it. You can never unnotice it. Your fate is sealed. At that point, your options are, and these are only the methods that I've tried so far, to drown out the sound of the hum with something else, something louder that preferably will not keep you awake. Plug in some headphones and play some soothing but loud music or something. Podcasts and audiobooks have too much dead space in them. The hum seeps through those cracks, so don't try those. It's gotta be something with consistency and rhythm to it. If that doesn't work, try booze. You get drunk enough you could sleep through an earthquake. But this option is not sufficient for long term, and I'd also suggest avoiding smoking weed or anything like that. You might think that they help you relax, but that stuff only heightens your senses and your awareness. It will amplify the hum to unbearable levels. You could also try just turning the TV on and turning the volume up, but that won't work too well if you're sleeping with someone that doesn't want that, which is my case. Lastly, you could just try to fill your environment up with as much white noise as you can. Turn on the ceiling fans, run water in the faucets, turn on the bathroom fan, let the AC run. This stuff for babies. Inject it all in, but even then it doesn't really help. It's like the hum is coming from inside your own ears. So the distance that the external white noise has to travel ruins it as an alleviation. Earplugs? Those work. They block it out, at least a little. But in my experience, the hum still finds a way to seep through even those. It seeps through everything. And it's always there. Only in the mornings. I slowly start to notice the noises around me as I lay there in the heat and begin hearing the dull, low, buzzing sound in my ears. The fan spinning overhead. There was a slight creaking noise every rotation, as well as the two dangling chains knocking against each other. Allison's slow, rhythmic breathing. Blessedly still in a deep sleep. No clue how early it is, but still I envy the sleep. The hours have been siphoned away from me for months now. An hour here, several hours there. Catch up one day, but lose the ground, and then some the next. It is beginning to wear on me. My eyes are always heavy. Death by 1,000 cuts. I can hear the rain sounds coming from the baby monitor. I hear the sound of baby Sarah stirring for a moment, then back to sleep. The hum doesn't bother them. It doesn't wake them up. Only me. Why only me? It's a frequency thing, I'm sure. Like a dog whistle. Maybe I could just blast my ears, I'm thinking in a flash of desperation as the noise slowly builds in my attention. Go to a bunch of rock concerts and hold my head against the amps until my ears are damaged enough that the frequency is no longer able to be heard. But if that doesn't work, I've just permanently damaged my hearing for nothing. I know that I will go insane if this doesn't stop. I can't live like this. I cannot keep waking up earlier and earlier, always unable to fall back asleep. Always unable to concentrate on anything in the early morning except for that damn noise. It has to end. I get out of bed in frustration, but I am determined to put an end to it this morning. I'll find the source of the noise. I have to. I put on a robe in the dark and stumble my way to the bedroom door. Downstairs, make a cup of coffee. All the while, as I walk slowly and softly through the halls and down the stairs, I'm reaching out with my ears. I'm aware of all the sounds, but that one sound most of all. I am trying to follow it. As I willingly give it my attention, it builds and builds. It is impossible to ignore now. Of course it is, but that's fine. I want it to be as present as it can be, because I'm going to find you. I'm going to find you and I'm going to kill you. I'll unplug you. No, I'll destroy you. Whatever you are, whatever contraption is making this sound, I will make sure that you can never be turned on again. Never. I eventually brew the coffee. The hunt through the halls was fruitless, but that's okay. I'd more or less already determined that the noise was not coming from anywhere upstairs weeks ago. This is not the first time I've attempted to find the source of the sound. It isn't even the 10th time. I've tried many times. Sometimes I thought I was getting close to discovering the spot where it emanates. But it always seemed that any time I'm close to finding it, the rest of the household begins to wake up. The world outside begins to wake up. And as life begins, as the day starts, the hum fades into background without you noticing. And by the time you remember that you are on the edge of insanity, it's gone. Fades away into the hums of everyday life, just the same way that it appears. It is gradual, subtle, until it is noticed. I see the time on the coffee maker, though I was actually trying to avoid knowing it. 4:30 a.m. There's something about not knowing that actually helps me. If you just feel tired, then that's all it is. You feel tired. But if you know precisely how much sleep you got, or didn't get, then you know how tired you are, how tired you should be. But it wouldn't have even mattered at this point. This isn't tired anymore. This isn't fatigue. It has become so much more. I haven't slept legit in months. The insomnia is making everything worse. Going through life has become a kind of hell. Not sleeping ruins every other aspect of living. It affects all other things. My face looks pale and sick. I don't even look in the mirror anymore. I stopped shaving weeks ago. My ability to focus is all but withered into nothing, just like my body. Everything is beginning to make me feel anxious or depressed, or if it isn't one of those two, it makes me angry. My emotions are all over the place all the time. I can only function, both physically and mentally, with insane amounts of caffeine, but that also plays into the insomnia and the anxiety and anger. I can barely be around my family. I cannot speak without the emotions distorting every word I try to say. I cannot hear what others say to me, at least not more than a couple of sentences at one time. I cannot focus, and my thoughts drift and wander, and they eventually attack me. I drink the coffee as I listen to the hum. I can feel my heart pounding. I brew another cup and drink. Sitting at the kitchen table with last night's dinner, bits of crust and an empty cheese dip container in a pizza box still sitting there. The hum grows louder and I can feel it in my ears now. A despair begins inside of me. It is despair because I know I will not find it. I won't find what is making the noise. I won't be able to stop it. This is my life now. My nightmare. And then I know I won't be able to survive like this. Not for much longer. Living this way, it will destroy me. The black coffee is bitter and dry on my tongue, the taste of the whiskey from last night still potent there. I think of getting the bottle, drinking until I pass out, a little more sleep. It wouldn't be the first time I'd use that escape method, but my insides hurt. I've consumed more alcohol in the last month or so than in the entire rest of my life. Allison is getting worried. She thinks I'm going crazy. I am going crazy. She cannot hear the sound. I've woken her up many mornings to have her help me find the sound, but she never hears it. It can be pounding in my ears and still she can't hear it. The neighborhood has a Facebook group. I've posted there several times trying to find someone else who can hear it too. Now, I'm the crazy man down the street that hears noises no one else can hear. It's ruining my life. But not just mine, my family's too. I won't let it. I don't want to let it, but what else can I do? I have tried every logical thing that I could think of. Well, almost everything. The other day, when I woke up yet again around 4:30 a.m. with the hum buzzing in my ears so loud, just like always, just like it is right now, I googled how to make yourself go deaf. You'd be surprised how unhelpful people are. The search results were nothing but people telling me why I don't want to be deaf. There is no easy way to make yourself go deaf. Did you know that? No pill you can take. No doctors are willing to perform a surgery. Surprising, there are many questionable surgeons who will perform all manner of unneeded and potentially harmful elective surgeries nowadays, but apparently not this one. But I won't let it destroy the lives of my family. I won't let my baby girl grow up with me like this. It would be better for them that I was gone than for me to live like this. It would be better for me. This is no longer a life. And so I will fix it. I come to this decision as I sit there, still hearing the hum, so loud now that my ears pulsate. I am alone, but the knowledge that no one else would even be able to hear it, it adds to the despair. But I've already made the decision. I won't back out of it again this time. Deep down, I always knew it would come to this. It is the only way out. Always was. I sit in the noise until the sun rises and the day begins. At some point, the sound goes away. I don't even notice it. It is around noon now. Allison has taken baby Sarah to her mom's house for the day. She's at work at the salon for the rest of the day. I relished the happy baby sounds that Sarah made as I squeezed her and kissed her goodbye, and the "I love you" from Allison before she left. I know it is the last time I will ever hear them. And then I called in sick to the office. I am in the car in the garage, trying not to back out again. There is a shotgun in the trunk and 2 shells in my shorts pocket. I am not suicidal, but the shells are for me. I don't back out. I am going through with it. It is an 1.5-hour drive to the Hoosier National Forest from our home in Carter Switch, Indiana. On the drive, I listened to all of my favorite songs to hear them one last time. As nerdy as it is, most of the drive consisted of Howard Shore's Lord of the Rings soundtrack. I considered calling people, my parents, my brother, etc., to hear their voices one last time, but I don't. It would complicate things emotionally more than it is already. Best to just get it done with while I'm confident enough to do this. I park the car, get the bag with the gun, and go deep into the woods. I am far enough into the forest now. I found a good spot. People shoot in these woods all the time. My shots will not cause a disturbance, but still, I don't want anyone near me all the same. I can hear the birds chirping all around me and the sounds of the wind blowing through the leaves above me. is peaceful. My heart is racing as I unpack the gun and load a shell. There is both fear and excitement inside me. I do not allow myself time to second guess. I don't allow myself time to think, time to doubt. It is one swift movement, unbroken, as I raise the barrel of the gun to my head and fire point blank. The shell fragments explode in a spray behind me. The pain is unreal. The recoil from the shotgun sends it flying, but I had dropped it anyway. I was not expecting the pain. I did my right ear first. I don't know why. There is a high-pitched noise, but I can't tell if it is coming from the right ear or the left. Mostly, there is only intense pain in my ears and a sensation of dizziness. I feel like I might vomit, and then I do vomit. I wipe my chin and stumble to the shotgun that lay on the leaf-strewn floor of the forest. I fumble to get the other shell loaded. My balance is off. I feel horribly sick and dizzy. I can feel a warm wetness in my right ear, a ruptured eardrum, and then, just like the first time, no chance to think, just do it. I have a better grip on the gun this time, so it doesn't fly out of my hands. That could have been disastrous the first time around. Pain. Acute, exquisite pain explodes in my left ear. Dizzy and sick, I have to lie down. So I do, right there on the forest floor. Feels like the world is spinning around me. I think I lose consciousness, but everything is a chaos of pain and unbalance. I think I scream. When I come to, if I was even really out to begin with, I have no idea how much time has passed, but I don't think it is much. It is still daylight and still warm as hell. The dizziness has faded, but as I stand up, I still have some difficulty keeping my balance. The pain in my ears is present still, but not as severe as it had been. As I stand there and try to compose myself, I pay attention. There is no sound of the birds chirping. I listen. They are silent. A gust of wind blows a pile of leaves. I feel them brush against my leg, but they make no sound. I listen still. The whole world is silent. It worked. I laugh and cannot hear myself laugh. It makes me laugh harder. I think that I must look very strange if anyone could see me. Dinner tonight, it is very strange. It is more difficult to speak to Allison than I had anticipated. It is difficult to gauge my volume, being unable to hear myself. I cannot often tell what she is saying, but I read her lips, read her body language. I am able to have a very basic conversation with her, but I tell her I am not feeling well very early into the night. She knows I am acting strange, but she likely believes it is something to do with the insomnia. Of course, she will find out eventually, but I do not want to tell her anything about that tonight. I don't want to deal with that tonight. I haven't decided on how to tell her. I imagine scenarios that I could make up where the eardrum damage could be explained without me having to confess that I did the damage myself. A few ideas come to me. Nothing good, but I have faith that something good will eventually. I think. I hope. But those are worries for later. Now, sleep. Blessed sleep. I tell Allison there are a few more work-related things I need to finish before going to sleep, but really I just go into my office to sneak some drinks. But I tell myself, while getting drunk, that this habit needs to end, starting tomorrow. I test putting my headphones in and blasting the music as loud as it can go. My smile is wide as I hear nothing at all. I can feel them vibrating in my ears, but there's no sound at all. The world is blessedly silent, complete silence. Eventually, I'm drunk and tired. I fall asleep in my chair in the office instead of going to bed. It is a deep sleep. I forget that I even have my headphones in, blasting music. I wake up after some hours of drunken sleep at my desk. My face is covered in sweat, and my shirt is so wet with it that I feel like I can wring it out over a sink. The headphones are still vibrating in my ears. I take them out and set them on the desk in front of me. I am still drunk as I sit up in the chair, my back hurting from the posture that I slept in. I don't let myself look at the time, but I assume it is somewhere in the middle of the night. I stand up and stumble my way out of the office. I have a slight headache. I am not sure if it is from the booze or from the ear damage earlier. I have had at least a slight headache since I did the deed, but I am not worried. I tell myself that a few more hours of sleep will likely clear it up. The house is the most still that it has ever been. The utter silence is slightly unnerving. I have my hand gently pressed on the hallway walls for balance and guidance as I make my way to the bedroom in the dark. I try to open the door and get into bed as quietly as I can, so as not to wake Allison, but it is impossible to tell. I can see her bare legs uncovered by the sheets, sleeping with hardly a thing on, as we have been doing in the heat this summer. I undress to my boxers, again trying to be quiet with no way to tell how much noise I'm actually making, but I am not all that worried. Allison is a heavy sleeper. It's a habit that she got from the nights when baby Sarah would sleep in her room. The baby was not a heavy sleeper. If you just breathed too loud, she would wake up. But baby Sarah is down the hall now, and I am able to climb into bed without waking Allison or baby Sarah up. I rest my head against the special pillows that Allison got, and I put one arm around her. I feel comfort in the quiet stillness right there. Comfort like I haven't felt in months. I take a deep breath and close my eyes. The silence is bliss. At least for the few minutes that it lasts. As I am falling asleep again, a feat which I had been completely unable to achieve for what felt like years, I begin to notice it. At first, I barely even register it. There is nothing on my mind. I have almost completely forgotten that I am deaf now. So, when there is a slight humming, buzzing sound in the background, I don't even take notice of it, because it is nothing. But then it grows louder, and then I realize that I've noticed it. For a second, I try to tell myself that it is my imagination, but it isn't. Then, for a second, I assume that I must actually be dreaming. The sound gets louder still. I must be dreaming, yes. I am probably still asleep in the chair in the office, drunk, passed out. Louder. My heart starts pounding now. A hell of an anxiety attack is coming on. I can feel myself losing it. Maybe it was all a dream. Maybe I didn't even go out to the woods and do what I did. Reality starts to feel unreal. Still, the sound continues to come on. I open my eyes. I am awake, laying in bed with Allison, and I can hear the hum. I sit up in bed. No. It isn't real. This can't be happening. What did I do to myself? This can't be happening. No! I scream, but I can't hear myself. I feel the vocal cords vibrating in my throat, but I hear nothing. Except for that sound. Allison shoots awake, startled. I am still screaming. I'm crying. I'm telling her, yelling at her, more likely, but I have no real way of telling that I can still hear it. I still hear the fucking noise. She knows what sound I'm talking about, but she doesn't comprehend the reason for the dramatics. She is still talking to me, putting her hand on my face, trying to calm me down. But I can't hear her, and the noise is still getting louder.